made out of coal. Frosty the snowman is a fairy tale they say. He's made of snow, but the children know how he came to life one day. Must have been some magic in that old silk hat they found. But when they placed it on his head, he began to dance around. Frosty the snowman was alive as he could.
Oh, that goes to show you that the gear is split. Otherwise, that wouldn't come out. That's the gear that's split. It's an A-tooth. You can order replacements online. They come from China, Hong Kong. So they take a while to arrive. But A-teeth plastic motor shaft gear. Just grab a new one. The motor shaft gear goes on the belt pulley. It's easier to press it against something because it hurts your thumb if you don't. And then don't worry about pushing it on the rest of the way. You can do that when you put it back together. Make sure everything's lined up. Sometimes the square shaft gear can be split too, but it's very rare. Usually only if you force it too hard that happens. Close it back up. And here's how you get it to go down on the gear all the way. Just grab the head of a screwdriver or something and push down. Tight. And now it's all the way down. Right, once the screws are in, you can put the belt back on. See, the hat arm function now works. The square shaft gear is split on this too. No, people often ask me where you can find replacements of square shaft gears. We don't really know. When we fix them, they come from other items that we've parted out over the years. So unless you have a 3D printer or have extras, we don't know where you can find them. That goes for all these other gears. Like sometimes you can find gears and things that might be similar, but I don't know what the other gears are called besides the motor shaft gear. So if any other gear breaks, we don't really know where you can find them. Now the Snowflake spinning arm part. Now, if the Snowman was made in 2002 or 2003, it's not going to be belt driven. It's going to be gear driven. And it's built a little different, but yeah. So this one struggles to spin its Snowflake, so it's either the belt slipping or the gear splitting. I'm pretty sure the gear is splitting, though. It does look like the belt is bad, though. Well, the belt is bad and the gear is split, so we're going to have to replace both. Belts can be purchased from Ace Hardware. That's where I always get mine from. No, they call them O-rings and stuff. They're used for plumbing, so if you go into your Ace Hardware and ask employee where the belts are, they might not know what you're talking about. So here's the inside of the spinning arm. This is the gear that will need replacing. I believe it's a 9-tooth. I'll count it to make sure. Correction, it's a 10-tooth. Also, you see that big gear, how there's a split starting to form? What I would do with that is, you're not going to be able to find another gear like that either. What I would do is crazy glue it before it splits even more. And crazy glue with baking soda works better than just using crazy glue. I'm out, so I'm gonna have to get it so I can do that with the square shaft and this gear. You will want to notice this. In the 2005 and 6 Snowflake spinners, there's this gear right here, which actually yellows in the newer models. So the black hat Frosty, the green hat 2005 Frosty, the peppermint ones, they will have this gear in there will be yellowed. And if you touch it, the gear will crack. Just stopping the arm from moving will cause all the gear teeth to break off. They used really bad gears in 2005 and 6 on those. These mechanisms I got from Radio Shack when they were still open, they have those same gears in them. You used to have to part other Snowflake spinners out. I used to have to part others out to get that gear if it broke, but thank God I picked all those gearboxes up before Radio Shack closed. See? They're pretty similar. Sorry about the focus, but yeah. These models are usually fine. Like I said, it's the 2005 and 6 models that have that bad part, that bad gear. It basically dries up and it just cracks as you touch it. It just completely disintegrates. That's the gear that broke the first day I got my original Frosty. It broke when I got the other day when I was repairing him a few weeks ago. It broke in my Peppermint Twist Snowman. It hasn't done this in the Snow Woman yet. Not my Grinch hasn't yet, but I think the other shiny green head one that I had that I really messed up, it was. So again, it's the 2005 and 6 models that have a faulty gear in there. So, and it's the same thing with this gear. You don't have to worry about pushing it all the way on, because when you close the gearbox up, all you have to do is push down on the with the head of the screwdriver, and it'll go all the way down. I'll show you when it's time. Hey, this thing's in rough shape. This gear is splitting. That was split. The square shaft gear is splitting. That gear is split. I haven't been in the hips yet. Here's that square shaft gear that was on it. It's really rounded out. It's not much of a square shaft anymore. Okay, so the hips only didn't move because the belt was off. There was no belt. So the gear's not even split in the hips, which is actually good. If the gear was split in the hips, you would have to pry these out and then take the 2 screws out of the legs on each side, and then this comes in half. The levers on the spinning knobs, you have to make sure when you put it back together you line those up. And then there's 3 screws in the gear, in this right here. Take the belt off, you would replace the split gear which goes on this shaft. Same thing, you just press down on something so that you can push the gear on, and then when you close it back together, to push it the rest of the way onto the gear, just push it down with that the head of the screwdriver like I showed earlier with the hat arm. But yeah, I'm gonna have to wait to finish repairing everything else till tomorrow because I don't have another square shaft gear. So I'm gonna crazy glue that just so it lasts longer, and I'm gonna crazy glue that split right there because that's gonna get worse if I don't. Well, I put glue on it, and I feel like I might have messed it up, but I guess we'll see when we put it back together. Same with this when I put glue on it, but hopefully it holds up. I don't know. I feel like it's gonna obstruct it though.
Have they found? When they placed it on his head, he began to dance around.
So here's another one of those things where the gear is not all the way on yet, but all you have to do is when you close up the mechanism, just push down the belt pulley part with the head of your screwdriver. And then, see, there it's all the way down now. It's that simple. I'm only afraid of the crazy glue obstructing this that I put on that one gear. We'll have to see. Okay, I was wrong about doing that with the spinning arm. You are gonna have to push it all the way down. I would just take a flathead screwdriver and hold this with your fingers and then push like this with the other. Yep, it went on. Okay, that's why I wasn't spinning when I last put it on. It wasn't making contact with the other gears. That's not even long enough. The shaft. That's not very shaft. You can. It's best to when you're done to hot glue the pins in too, so they don't come out. Okay, yeah, this spinning mech is completely fucked up now. I can't get it to move at all. It's just always stuck and jammed. So something went wrong with that big gear. I'm gonna probably just part out the rawhide Santa. That doesn't seem. That's the only thing I can do right now. I'm not sure. It doesn't look like anything's wrong with the gears though, so it doesn't make sense as to why it gets jammed. The only thing I can think about is this top part, but that's not very much. Huh. Okay, so I did just find out that it works when the cap is off. Okay, no, it's still not working. I don't know what's jamming it. It's clearly something with this gear. I have a feeling it might be crooked or something. Yep, once the arm goes up, it doesn't continue to move. See, here's an example. See, it just seems like this part bends up or something. I don't know. Well, I tried it without this. I lifted this off and it still wasn't spinning, so I somewhat think the motor's bad too. See, just gets stuck. Still doesn't move even with that gear disconnected. See? Still doesn't work. Even when it's not making contact. It makes no sense. What the? Finally, it was a problem with this gear right here. Yeah, there's more issues. It can't close all the way. Finally. I just can't close this screw up because then it doesn't work. I bet it won't even go fast though, and I bet it'll piss me off. Yes! Alright, so he's finally finished. Again, a good thing to do is to, when you know you're finished, hot glue the pin in so it doesn't slide out. Also, what I didn't do is, what you should do, there's a little cap that goes on the belt part. You can glue that back on so that the fabric doesn't get cut. I'm not going to be sewing it back together, so I can do that at any time. But I just want to make sure it works before I start gluing everything back together, because you never know. I mean, it's and again, in another 4 years, it's going to have more issues again. So, I mean, leaving it unsewed is totally up to you, because, you know, if you sew it back together, there is going to be a point where I'll have to fix it again. Just like I had to do with the Snow Woman already, and my other two Frosties. Well, this one isn't mine, but still, I've had to fix the Frosties I got in 2015 twice already. So, yeah. Yes. The belt is a little bad for the hat arm. It needs a better one, but it's fine for now. Actually, all I have to do is all I have to do is pose the arm. See, the arm is bendable. So now it goes all the way on his head. That's so cool. See? So sometimes when the hats don't go perfectly on their heads, all you have to do is pose them better. It does sound like this one's splitting, but it's really not. Because obviously I just fixed it. I think it works great though. I can do madness with all like 5 now. So yeah, guys. Also, don't even bother trying to glue that arm, that gear, in there. That's more of what was causing the issues. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't hold the gear on. It just slips right off. As soon as you hold the hand, it just slips. It just gluing that gear doesn't do anything. So if it splits, it splits. You're out of luck. But it's, you know, my hat's off to Santa. My first one that ended up getting parted out, it had a split in it too, but it still functioned. So yeah, when those start splitting worse, then we'll have to find a solution that'll fix that. But until then, leave it as it is. Don't even bother, because the glue just messes it up. It gets it clogs the gears, and it created issues. So the square shaft gear, obviously it is working, because before I glued that one, it was slipping. It was like stripping. So that one is working better, but the round one, yeah, just don't. You can't glue round gears, like round shaft gears. It never works. It never works when I try to glue split gears. It just doesn't. Just don't waste your time. This is the 2005 green Howland. This one I can't get the hat to look nice. It just always looks squished. It's the way it's holding it, I guess. Oh, I finally got done fixing the Chmeilewski's Frosty the snowman. So here's all mine. Again, they're all different years. Well, those two are the same, but that was my original and that was my replacement when that one was broke. Alright, let's try this. The black hat ones have better sound quality than the green ones. That one's lever just broke. What the heck? That's why I don't sew them up, because they do consistently break, even when you don't use them. Okay, well, the lever didn't break. The pin that holds it just popped out. But still, that's my point. That's exactly why I never sew them back together. I leave them open from the back. No one knows. Unless you look at it from the back, you can't tell that it's opened up. Because, I mean, if you sew it together, you're going to have to cut it again when it breaks. And every time you cut it, it's going to be worse every time you sew it again. So that's what happened to that surfing Santa before. When I thought the lever was broken, it was actually the pin that popped out. Actually, it was the screw in that one. Alright, it just has a screw in it yet now. And again, here's the demo mode that these have that those don't have. And I also noticed the switch on the 2005 is right here, and the rest of them are right here on these. Oh, no. That one's lights are dim. This one's wire is actually tore for the snowflakes, so they're flickering.
eyes made out of coal.
That's all these do for demos. These ones you have to have an additional Tremmy button hookup, which came when these were in stores, and you'd have to hold down the button, and all they would do is hip swing. As soon as you let go, they'd stop playing. They just don't move their arms when they're in the box, because those come in a window box like that. These didn't. So from what I can tell, is these are both 2004 models, because they both have the same bottom and hookup. So yeah.
In that old silk hat they found, but when they placed it on his head,